Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening and
Faisal.
welcome, warm welcome to our special guest speaker today, Mr. Khawaja Faisal Javed from SGS Pakistan, and also Ibu Lili Wongso from BCA. Halo, selamat malam Bu Lili, Pak
Um,
Faisal. And welcome to our moderator today, Bapak Harun Al Rasyid,
Halo.
BOD, BOD and all executive team from ISACA Indonesia chapter, and all participants joining us today. Welcome to the monthly talk and sharing session organized by ISACA Indonesia chapter. My name is Rifko and I will be your host for today. Today's session we will focus on integrating ISO IEC 27001 and ISO/IEC 42001, building trusted and secure AI. We are very happy to have you all with us this evening, and we hope you will find today's session insightful and valuable. Before we begin, let me briefly go through a few housekeeping notes. Participants are welcome to turn on their camera. All participants are expected to maintain a respectful, professional, and orderly webinar environment. Questions might be submitted via the chat box only. CPE credits for members will be uploaded to the chapter website, and the certificate can be accessed through each participant's is my ISACA account. Uh, Before we go through the session, don't forget we have our upcoming flagship conference events, IT Governance, Risk Assurance, and Cybersecurity Summit 2026. With the theme of Digital Trust in Motion, Securing the Intelligent Ecosystem. GREX will take place on 14 October 2026 in a hybrid format. And we are currently offering the early bird rate, so don't miss the opportunity and secure your seat at a special price. Participants will also have a earn up to 9 CPE credits. And before we continue, I would like to invite Ibu Dr. Siti Eldahi Herrera. She is a program director of ISACA Indonesia chapter uh, to deliver a brief welcome remarks, Bu Elda.
Oke,
Selamat malam.
malam, Mbak Rifko. Suara saya jelas?
Jelas, Bu.
Oke, selamat malam. Good evening, everyone. I'm Elda, Program Director. On behalf of ISACA Indonesia chapter, I would like to warmly welcome all of you to our monthly talk and sharing session. Tonight, we will discuss a very important and timely topic, integrating ISO IC 27001 and ISO IC 42001, building trusted and secure AI. AI becomes increasingly important in our organization and daily lives. We need to make sure that AI is not only innovative and useful, but also secure, responsible, and trustworthy. That is why the combination of information security and AI governance is becoming more important than ever. We are very happy to have our distinguished speaker tonight. Hello, Mr. Khawaja Faisal Javed and Ms. Lily Wongso, who will share their knowledge and experience with us. And of course, our session will be moderated by Mr. Harun Al Rasyid, President of ISACA Indonesia chapter. Thank you very much to our speakers, moderator, ISACA members, and everyone joining us this evening. I hope tonight's session will give us new insight, practical knowledge, and a better understanding of how we can build trusted and secure AI together. So I think enjoy the session, and I hope we have a great discussion tonight. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi. Thank you, Bu Elda, for the warm welcome and remarks. And now let's move on to the main session. To guide us through today's session, we have Bapak Harun Al Rasyid, SHC CDPC as our moderator. Pak Harun has over 20 years of professional experience in IT governance, risk compliance, and security. with extensive experience in IT audit, strategic IT planning, and ISO/IEC 27001 implementation. He is also currently involved in the implementation of ISO/IEC 42001 for a government institutions. He currently serves as a director and partner at PT Insan Dikara Technology, or as known as Inditech, and he is the elected president of ISACA Indonesia chapter for the 2025 to 2027 term. So we are very pleased to have him with us to lead today's discussion. Pak Harun, the session is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Rifko. Good evening, everyone, Bapak Ibu semua. I warmly welcome all participants joining us tonight, and also for those of you still on the way home, please stay safe, drive safely so we can go back home. And then also we appreciate your commitment to be part of this important discussions. Because as mentioned by Bu Elda previously, as we all know, AI is no longer a distant concept. It's becoming part of our daily operation. In fact, it's already touched the core business. So I believe this rapid adoption the risk associated with AI system has never been more critical now. So managing this risk is not just about compliance, but it's also safeguarding the integrity of our digital ecosystem. But luckily, we also have a similar structure from ISMS 27001. So for those of you organization that already have ISMS in place, I believe adopting AIMS under ISO 42001 can bring you significant advantage. So whether you are work as a user, as a provider, or even producer of AI, so the alignment of ISMS and IMS create a structured pathway to build your trustworthy and responsible AI. So tonight we are privileged to have two distinguished guest speakers with us. Our first speaker will be Khawaja Faisal Javed. This is my long time friend. How are you, Faisal? Oh, everything all good, all good. Okay. Faisal is a seasoned information security and technology professional with extensive experience in ICT, GRC, IT auditing, cybersecurity, business continuity, IT service management, and cloud security. He currently serves as a senior manager of operation and digital trust lead at SGS Pakistan, where he contributes to digital trust certification, training, and assurance initiative. With more than 2 decades of professional experience, Faisal has conducted numerous IT and information security audits and delivered extensive professional training across multiple countries. He held certification including CISA, series, CDCP, and CDPSE, and has been recognized as the 2012 Senior Information Security Professional Asia Pacific Showcase, honored by IC Square. He has also contributed to international professional communities, including ISACA and Cloud Security Alliance. With expertise spanning ISO in 27001, ISO 20000, and also 22301 for business continuity, and also COVID, ITIL, cybersecurity, and also digital trust. Please welcome everybody for Faisal. Thank you, Faisal, for joining us. And also the second speaker will be Bu Lily Wongso. She is a technology executive with over 29 years of experience in enterprise technology, cybersecurity, digital transformation, and IT strategy with the banking industry. She has led a large-scale initiative across enterprise architecture, cybersecurity, data governance, AI enablement, and IT service quality, including the modernization of mission-critical banking infrastructure and secure digital banking services. In her current role, Bulili leads enterprise IT architecture, data management, and service quality, driving enterprise architecture, AI and analytics adoption, data governance, operational resilience, and technology governance. She holds internationally recognized certification, including CISSP, CCSP, TOGAF, ITIL, and CIPM. Reflecting her expertise across cybersecurity, cloud security, enterprise architecture, IT service management, and data privacy. So thank you very much to both speakers for having with us tonight. So hopefully we can have a fruitful discussions. So as a first speakers, I will give to Faisal. So we expect like around 45 to 50 minutes for Faisal to share his knowledge. So for Faisal, I will hand it over to you. The screen is yours.
Thank you very much, Harun, and welcome all of you. I hope you can see the screen right now.
It's still
It's a
loading.
pleasure always, Harun, to interact with ISACA. I've been involved with ISACA since 2004. And wherever I travel, as you have seen, I've been traveling to more than 50 countries around the world. And wherever I travel, I always contact the local chapter and try to give my speech or whatever trainings or whatever is required. So we know each other since long, and whenever ISACA Indonesia needed my services, so I'm always there. I'm the president of ISACA Lahore chapter from the last 1 year, but I remain the president and founding president since 2007 for more than seven years at that time, and then now I came back, and we got in contact, and then we decided to do something. Similarly, with SGS, I'm working almost 27 years now, and doing all these activities which you have seen, most probably the third-party audits and trainings against these two and many other standards which exist in information security, cloud security, privacy, data protection, and now in AI security, AI governance, and other related AI-related standards. So let's start with the very, very important topic, as you have rightly said, that what's going on right now around the world is really alarming. People are running into the deployment of AI, but unfortunately, they are not understanding the risks. I remember when any new technology emerged, like cloud technology, and people were rushing to the cloud, just saving the cost, but not considering the security behind it. And the same thing is happening right now. Daily, you see a new tool coming out, and you can create an image, you can do things like this, but we don't understand what are the risks behind and what is happening in the back end. We are putting up our company data into the LLMs, and just to get just like an SLA put into the LLM, just explain me what are the conditions in SLA. But we don't understand that whatever you are putting in the LLM is going to be stored somewhere. And if it is a confidential information, that can hurt back later on, because there are threats in LLMs that particular data can be extracted and can be misused against you or your organization. So let's jump into the topic, which is basically very, very important. As you can see, 27,001, many companies are certified. I was one of the few in the initial stages back in 2003. I did my lead auditor in BS 7799 at that time. 27,001 came in 2005. So I'm there in this field for that much time. So now I know, I'm happy to see more than 43,000 companies around the world are certified for 27,001. But now the new standards are emerging over the period of time, and this 42,001 is the AI governance standard. So those companies who are already having a standard implemented, whether 27,001 or 20,000, they need to understand how they can integrate this AI management system into their current standards. So today's topic is very specific to that, but still, I'll quickly go through the landscape, the threat landscape of cybersecurity and the AI threat landscape. Then what is evolving around the world in this thing. Then we will quickly go through the requirements of the standard, both standards, and then go to the risks of AI, which are very, very different from the cybersecurity risk we know. So there are a lot of other cybersecurity risk or security risk within AI, which we need to understand. Then I will try to give you 2 or 3 case studies just very quickly that what's happening, that one organization who is having a security already, they are putting up the AI management system onto it, how they are going to integrate it, where they are similar, where they are different, and then we will move on to the certification process. And of course, there will be interactive session at the end, which this is one of the major area where what you call ISACA is very unique, that we always give a chance to the people to ask questions. A very quick, if you can see my screen. Harun, I'm audible and everything is clear?
Yes, everything
Okay.
is clear.
Okay, SGS is there since 1878. It's a Swiss company, and we are around 100,000 employees in more than 2,600 offices. And we operate in different industries and different type of services. But I'll be focusing on the main area, which is the division. We have a lot of divisions. We do third-party inspection, testing, and certification. So it is called tech industry. So for testing, we do testing of a lot of things, textiles, chemicals, agriculture. We do inspection of a lot of things which are being exported from Indonesia or from Pakistan or anywhere, any other country. But there is one division within SGS which is called business assurance, and that deals with the third-party assessment, auditing, and certification. The C of the TIC, TIC. So we do assessments, of course, and certify the organizations against different ISO standards around the world. We do supply chain assurance. Anyone who wants to get their supplier audited for their own requirements or any international requirement, we do those audits around the world. Then we provide training services, which we have a big training academy, and through which we provide a lot of accredited, non-accredited certifications. We have a very important service of medical devices, sustainability assurance, and of course, we do consulting, not management system consulting, but we do technical consulting in the field of, especially in the field of AI. We do a lot of specific inspection of your tool, the quality of the tool, the biasness of the tool, the trustworthiness test of the tool. So all of these things come into that. So this is the overall portfolio of business assurance. Before we jump into what I'm going to discuss today, I want you to just take up this poll. You will see the poll on the screen. I would request Kia to please display the poll, which will come onto your screen so that you can select your option. Which best describes your organization's current position regarding 27,001 and 42,001? Excellent, excellent. We are getting, as expected, almost good. We are waiting for your answer, please. Excellent. We give another 10 seconds. And most of you are as par in my expectations. All right, the final countdown. Okay, thank you, and please share the results. So yes, most of you are having 27,001, and very rightly you came to this webinar. I really appreciate your take out time from your busy schedule. And almost 17% have both, and there are some people who already are in the planning of deployment of 42001. So good. That's what the purpose of this webinar is, to give you the way how you can move on in the integration, since you already have a system and you want to deploy that system. What is the current landscape? What is happening? This is the World Economic Forum every 2026, I would say, or 2025, the last survey. And something which is alarming here is the top, in the next 2 years, the topmost risk to the businesses is not earthquake, it's not even cyber attacks. It is disinformation or misinformation which is being spreaded through AI. And of course, cybersecurity and cyber espionage is already there, but this is the most important thing which you need to understand, that this risk is coming at the top. And we know what's happening around us, how deepfake is being used or misused or actively used to launch attacks on different people's personality and the personal information. Then this is the cybercrime surveys, different surveys, that it's around the damage by the cybercrime is expected to be $10.5 trillion. Oh, it's by 2025. It's you can imagine at that time, and it takes only 11 seconds to launch a ransomware attack. I think now it is much lesser than that. Even seconds, you can launch a ransomware attack through the use of AI. But 65%, this is something which I will discuss later on, the supply chain attacks. This is 65% contribution. 88% ransomware attack is on the small and medium entrepreneurs, businesses. Many small businesses, they think that they are not under attack. They have no fear because they have nothing to do, but they don't understand that they are the main targets, because they are the easy targets, unfortunately. The large organizations, they have the budgets, they have a lot of security controls deployed, although there is a question mark how much they know how to deploy the controls, but still they have the budgets to manage. But this third party, the small and medium entrepreneurs, they are having at the risk. In Middle East, if I talk about Middle East, you have around average cost around 27 million riyals of one breach in 2025. And similar data you can collect from any country, from any region, from any area. Now coming to the AI, very specific risks to the AI. You can see there is a 6-time rise in the AI attacks and the downtime which is attributed to the AI. 6 times more from the last year. 56% of breaches, it's attributed to the AI. And there is a $6 million breach cost if one large organization is under attack. It is having, it's almost 1 million more than what we have seen in the global average or from the other attacks, but it is due to the AI contribution, which has fueled the cyber attacks and the losses. 92% organizations have no control. Despite of all these things, they don't have any control over the use of AI. I will talk about shadow AI. Shadow IT was there. People are using AI as their own will, as their own need, and they don't even understand what could be the damaging factor behind it. And today you are hearing another word within AI. We started with AI, then we started with generative AI, Gen AI, and now it is agentic AI. Agents, everywhere it is agents, and we don't know what they are doing. I hope you have recently heard about the OpenAI agent, which which was launched in Hugging Face, and it started attacking other organizations' data over there. And I have wrote an article on this. I will share with you also, inshallah. So you will see that how this thing happened. So all in all, this is the AI threat landscape which we are facing these days. It is expected that AI contribution to the economy will be 15 trillion by 2030. And the adoption rate is enormous adoption rate since 2017, from 20% of AI use to 78% in the last 5 years. Just imagine, the landscape is increasing, and so does the risks. Now, a very quick review that the traditional security risk on the left side, you can see that we have the network security, endpoints, access controls, data encryption. Yes, they are still applicable. They are still there. But on the other side, you will see AI-specific risks, training data poisoning. AI is dependent on the data, which data you are putting in, that is being used to generate the future, or the trends, analyze the trends, or what you call, and then you come up with the new thing in front of you. Then model inversion, these are the threats I will discuss later on. So these threats, which are very specific to the AI. And what's happening right now, that we have the information security management systems there, which are tackling the general cybersecurity threats. But unfortunately, we are unable to see the biasness in the model, the drift in the model. The model can give certain results which are drifted towards the segment of the society. Might be the Asians are being discriminated in the selection. The women are being discriminated in the selection of the recruitment tool. Or maybe a loan provider analysis or loan provider evaluation is not giving the loans to certain ethnicity, and they are providing loans to other ethnicity without giving any proper justification. So you need to have a governance system to deploy AI in your organization, and that governance system is provided by 42001. Now, just very quick few examples of recent incidents. A deepfake impersonation. A CFO of an organization was supposed to be there in a Teams meeting, and he was sitting there. He was actively participating, same gesture, same voice, same face, but he was not the CFO. And the budget was approved by him, and the payment was transferred. This happened in Hong Kong in 2024. And this was the first incident, and it is being quoted everywhere because look at the time, it's 2024, and now we are in 2026. So how much further the advancement might have occurred? Shadow AI data leak. Samsung has got their code exposed into the ChatGPT in 2023, and that has created a huge hue and cry that how the people can put the code just to check the error, and they don't realize that where the code is going. Then we have a very interesting case of malicious model supply chain. The Hugging Face, one example I've given, but the recent example is totally different, which I've given you, where OpenAI's agent was maliciously became rogue, and it went into the other areas which was not in its ambit. So all in all, these warrants that cybersecurity or the security of AI is also equally very, very important in order for you to move forward for the deployment of AI. I'm not saying, and I have been in part of many discussions in international forums as a speaker, as a panelist. People say that don't talk about security too much, otherwise the adoption of AI will fall down, and the organization will put a lot of controls, or they will just stop, they will block. And I know some organizations has totally blocked the use of AI. But my friend, let me make it clear, you cannot stop technology. You cannot put the things behind the bars. You have to allow, but very properly defined mechanism has to be there. A governance system has to be there. You cannot go blindly in deployment of AI because other organization is doing it. Let's do it. You need to understand how we can do it. And the best way is to understand the use of standard. Why we use standards? You can see in front of you because I'm traveling around the world, and I know this is a big problem. Similarly, the C-type charging port, which is becoming a standard around the world, even iPhone, against their will, they were forced to use this. So that means standardization is a must. And there are a number of standards in the world which are talking about different management systems which exist in an organization. You might have heard about ISO 9001, which talks about the quality of the system through which your products and services are being delivered. 14,001 is environmental management system. And similarly, our main, most important and lovable standard is 27,001 for information security, business continuity, IT service management. So you name it, you have a standard over there, and we are assessing against those standards. Why these standards are there? Because they are the inputs around the world. Experts are sitting and writing 15 to 20 pages, just 15 to 20 pages in a standardized form, taking 7-8 years to ponder, to think, and then they create a document which can be used around the world by all types of organizations, and 42,001 is one of them. Now let's quickly jump to the core of these standards. So 27,001 is talking about, this is the structure of the standard, which is information security management system. It starts with the clause 4, and this is the normal structure of any management system released by ISO. Then it starts with the clause 4, then clause 5. Clause 4 is talking about the context of the organization, that you need to understand what are your internal and external issues, who are your interested parties, what are the needs and expectations of your interested parties regarding information security, how to define the scope of ISMS, whether you are going to put ISMS for the whole organization or only for your IT department or certain areas. Then you move on to the leadership and commitment. No organization can implement any standard if the management at the top is not with them. If they don't provide the leadership, if they don't set the roles and responsibilities, if they don't provide the adequate resources. So all this is a requirement of the standard that this should be there. Then we talk about the risk assessment and treatment, that you need to assess the risks to the information security or your information assets in your organization. What could be the risks? And those risks must be treated. Then you come to the resource requirements, the awareness, the competence of the people who are involved in information security. And similarly, how you will communicate if something happens in your organization, internally and externally. And finally, you come to the operational planning and control, that how all of these things are going to be implemented. You define the risk assessment methodology in clause 6, and in clause 8, you are going to do the risk assessment based on that methodology to see which information security risks are to be treated, which must be waited for some time, which must be given priority. So all these things. Now, once you identify the risk, you need to see what are the controls, and those controls are there in Annex A. And now once you deploy the controls, you need to completely monitor those controls. And you do the audit of your organization and try to discuss these things in management review. This is your clause 9. And then the clause 10, if something is not going according to the processes or the defined policies, you take corrective action and preventive actions and continually improve the system. So this is the structure which is there even in 42,001, which I will show you next. Now, talking about the Annex A, information security controls, there are 4 domains. like organizational controls, which are for the organizational level, the information security policy, which is applicable to the incident response, incident handling or incident response plans. This is all organization-wide. So all these are organization-wide controls. There are 37 controls in this domain. Then we come to domain 6 is people control, you and me. And by the way, it is still valid. I remember when I started in this field in 2003, I used to hear the word, the people are the weakest link in information security. And trust me, it is still the case today. People are the weakest link, still the weakest link in information security. You can put a lot of controls, technical controls, but still there will be someone in your organization not understanding it, and he is there sitting in your network and downloading something which is prohibited to be downloaded if he has an admin access rights, just to give you a small example. Then they have physical controls, the security situation, the geopolitical situation around us. So we need to put physical controls into the organization. And finally, the 34 technological controls, the malicious software deployment controls or access controls, logical access controls, password controls, all of these are technical controls. So overall, 93 controls are there in 27,001. And you can select whatever is applicable to your organization. Now, 42,001, since it is new, so I have a little bit more detail into this. It establishes requirements for the organizations if they want to implement an artificial intelligence management system. They want to have a governance and management structure in order to deploy AI in their organization. Then the main objective of this standard is basically to have a transparent, ethical, responsible, and trustworthy AI. These are very, very important words. You might have not heard about it in security. Zero trust structure is there. You trust but verify. This is the motto. But even you trust and verify, but there are ways in which the model still has given you the wrong results because it has been trained on the wrong data, so it will give a wrong result. And similarly, there are certain models which are not giving the ethical results. You can create a deepfake model which under the laws, under any ethical values, it shouldn't be there. You can stop it through technical means that the model will refuse to do it, but in some cases it is there. Secondly, a model takes a decision that whether the loan to be granted to an individual, whether a person can be selected based on the selection criteria, but it refuses someone without giving any reason. And that reasoning, if it is missing, it is called lack of explainability or lack of explainability that why this decision was taken. So all of these things are being checked as a control in this standard. And it also not only covers the organization, it covers the impact of that tool on the society. And this is the larger impact, which is not there as far as information security concerned, not to that extent. I'm not saying it's not there, it is there, but not to that extent. But AI impact can be society-wide. If it is used by the government, you can imagine what could happen. If it is used by a bank, if it is used by an organization for recruitment, if it is used by a government sector to give certain facilities to certain individuals, it can be biased. So these standards set the requirements that you can make things unbiased, explainable, and you can govern the whole system in your organization while you develop an AI and deploy it in your organization. Again, you will see the same structure. The only thing which is different here is AI impact assessment. Risk assessment is there, but AI impact assessment is something where you will see the fundamental right impact assessment, that what will be the impact of this AI on our organization, on the individuals within our organization or our employees, and it can have a wide-ranging impact on the society. What could happen if my AI go rogue or giving wrong results or giving malicious results or disclosing certain information which it is not supposed to disclose? What could be the impact? So this is what we want to see here. It's something which is additional to the risk assessment. And then similarly, we have an annexure where we have Annex A, which is giving us the control domains and the controls. And Annex B is the implementation guideline to how to implement those controls within your organization. But remaining, you will see that the clauses are the same, but they are very specific to an AI management system. And the previous we saw, they were specific to information security management system. So here you can see that they can be integrated to a great extent. Now, what are the controls? These are the 9 sections starting from A2 to A10. The policies related to the AI, and then we have almost 38 controls in 9 sections, I would say, or 9 domains. And it talks about the policies, the internal organization, the governance system you want to set in your organization, the roles and responsibilities, who will be doing what and how it will be done, resources and documentation of resources. Although data is one of the resources, but you will see there is a specific section for data. Assessing impact, again, we saw a clause also, but there is a complete section that how you are assessing and what type of impacts you are going to assess for your AI. Again, there are 4 controls in it. And this is the most important one, that is AI lifecycle management, system lifecycle. And it goes step by step, just like software development lifecycle, SDLC, we need to have an AI DLC, that is AI development lifecycle. And this standard is telling us about 5 to 6 what you call steps. And most popular around the world is OECD guideline. If you are interested, they describe 7 steps in the life cycle of the AI development. Then A8 is talking about who are the interested parties, what information you need to provide those interested parties, because they will be impacted. They will be impacted, and you need to understand what will be the impact, and they might require certain information from your side. If they are running that tool, for example, if you're acquiring a tool, my tool, I need to provide you proper information that what this tool can do, what this tool cannot do, what type of data it's in it, and which type of data, if you put in it, it will give wrong results. So all of these details, normally we call it model card, data sheet. So these are technical terms, but the provider of the tool must be giving these information. And if you are having 42001, it will be part and parcel of your development life cycle. How you are going to use the AI system, very, very important. You cannot do the deep fake. You cannot develop something or give some information which is private, and that private information will be restricted. It will not be allowed to enter, but still there are ways that the private information can go into the AI tool. So we are trying to give the caution to the user that what they can do, what they cannot. And finally, the third party, because you are going to use a tool provided by a third party, for example, and that is the key. And this is the biggest issue right now. I'm part of the Cloud Security Alliance where we have developed the AIMS, AICM, that is Artificial Intelligence Cloud Control Matrix. It's around 265 controls because you are using a lot of AI tools in the cloud. So there are 3 or 4 parties involved. the cloud service provider, and then the model provider, the data provider. So all of these combined together to give you a tool to be run. And even you are deploying your tool into the cloud. That means a third party is involved. How you are dealing with them, because they are the biggest threat. If you are putting up your data into the cloud, you're putting up the model into the cloud, what will happen when you want to end that agreement with that particular cloud service provider? How you will control it? All of these controls are there in 810. So these are 38 controls, very quick review, which I have given you. A little bit more detail, I would say, on the AI impact assessment framework, that you need to understand the organizational impact, individual impact, and societal impact. And you might have heard 3 IEAs impact assessment. One is business impact assessment, privacy impact assessment, or it is also called data protection impact assessment, DPIA. And then now you have AIIA, AI impact assessment. And then there is another word you might have heard, FRIA. What is that? Fundamental rights impact assessment, because AI can impact the fundamental rights of a human being. The right to be included in every type of choices. You might impact his right through the use of AI, because AI is trained on a data which is giving some discrimination. So this larger impact assessment is the key when you deploy AIs. Let's move on to the poll number 2. Which AI use case is currently most relevant to your organization? If can, yeah, I got the poll. Internal productivity tools, very popular. I'm getting all the emails written by them, and we don't even read it. Even just to tell you a very interesting case, we were interviewing an individual for employment, and we sent him an offer letter, and he denied that offer. But what he did, he just copy paste ChatGPT denial letter from there and put it into the email, and there was some laughing stuff into it. He never even bothered to read it. And this is what the main issue. We use the tools for our productivity, but we never read it. What the tool is putting in front of us. We just copy paste into the emails or into our requirements. All right. Great. Mostly people are going into the productivity one, but there are some effectively using it for the chatbots, customer facing. Okay. Let's see if the people can just come up with it. And just last 10 seconds, please. Okay. As expected, 43% using it for productivity. Very good. And again, the productivity needs to be trained properly, how it to be effectively use it, as I gave you some examples. Then customer-facing AIs, chatbot, 16%. Fraud risk, definitely it's more to the financial institutions. Analytics, yes, very good, 13%. And yes, these are my friends here. They are looking for different options of use cases. Yes, this is the first most important step in the AI development lifecycle, to identify a proper use case. And I think I have shown you the results that unfortunately, 83% AI project fail. And the reason for this failure is, since the other organization is doing it, I'm going to do it. This is the reason. You need to understand what use case is better for you, and then you go into it. Very good. I think adoption rate is quite good in this region, and especially in Indonesia, that I'm happy to see this. Now, why we do integration? I think I've already explained you there are a lot of common elements. It's a PDCA, Plan, Do, Check, Act. Both the standards have a high-level structure, which covers all these 4 to 10 clauses. And then the other common thing also is annexures. Both have annexures. It is having security controls, and this one is having AI management controls. This is what I am saying. Look at the clauses. 9001, 27001, 22301 business continuity, AI management system, and of course, privacy information management system all have similar clauses. Even the clause number is the same, even the wording might be the same, only the text might be up and down. So these are the areas where you can closely integrate these standards. Now, what are the differences? Information security is focusing on CIA, very specific. Or you can say it is protecting overall information. But 42001 is governing the behavior of the system. Information security will protect the access control to the AI, access control to the even LLMs which you are using, like ChatGPT or Kimi or Claude or whatever. But 42001 will govern the behavior, how you are fine-tuning those particular LLMs or putting a RAG into those systems so that they only answer from your own information. And similarly, you can say pre-incident protection on the 27001 side is towards your what you call life cycle trustworthiness of the whole system. We are talking about focusing on the security of AI and operation of the AI. So now let's see some clauses or controls which maps with those in both the standards. You can see that one of the control is talking about supplier and supply chain security in 27001. And on the other side, you have a typical control which talks about supply chain, AI supply chain management. Similarly, acceptable use, information classification, and here we have data for AI system, use of AI system, and AI system life cycle. So you can see almost near to each other, but they are different. And this is the area where the differences lie. But you need to put an AI and through a governance system, and then put the security controls from 27001. Very specific AI threats. At the development side, when you are developing your AI, there is a possibility the data poisoning is done. The training data which you are putting into your AI or the data you are collecting for putting into the AI might be poisoned, might be having wrong data inputted, whether through error, whether through judgment, whether through internal cognitive bias of the individual who is preparing the data. Then training data leakage is possible. Sensitive information can be leaked at the time of training. Supply chain compromise. You have hired someone to develop the tool for you, AI model for you, and you have shared certain information that can particularly be compromised. Model can be stolen. How the model do the internal processing, the whole processing can be copied, and you can develop your own model, which can be rogue. But at the time of runtime, when you run the system, there are certain other threats, evasion threats, which talks about that you can bypass certain security controls and get into the model and and give it or to poison the model in a way that it can give wrong predictions or wrong answers. Similarly, prompt injection. You inject certain prompts into the system that it is giving you malicious output. You are on one way or the other hijacking the AI behavior by giving certain prompts, in drafting it in such a way that although in normal cases, the prompt will be denied. That just to give me an image of this personality, blah, blah, blah. If you give 90% of the LLMs will reject this. But if you frame it in such a way that it is hidden behind certain verses, then it will develop that certain picture or image, which is prohibited. So these are certain threats at the deployment, at development, and runtime. Now let's take two case studies let's take a scenario of a major hospital. It's a triage case it has having a fully 27001 in place, and 6 months later they have in the emergency department was predicting that how much the severity of a particular patient's disease or his symptoms. It has been observed in the AI, which was deployed for this purpose, that it was underscoring the severity in elderly female patients. Although it is giving the severity of their disease and all type of patients, but it was underscoring for the female. And later on, they understood that it was because of the historical data which has been used, which is biased. And what happened then, that they only have 27001, which can control the training data, which can control the access, which can control the supplier security, which can control the encryption. But this biasness thing cannot be controlled. And that's why we need 42001, which can have these kind of controls in place, like impact assessment, because here is a huge impact on the female patients. They are also human beings. They are also coming to the hospital. And data quality could be another very good control, which is there. Human in the loop, HITL, which is called human in the loop. The decisions cannot be purely led by the AI. The human is to testify the decision is wise or not. And then the continuous monitoring control, which will tell us that the data is being drifting towards certain factors. So all these controls will help your AI system to be responsible, auditable. The second case is the loan provision, which talks about fixing this credit score biasness in a tool. Again, you have secure development in 27001. You have access control to certain loan databases, but you do not have the proxy variable bias. You do not have a model explainability that why he is denying the loans to certain individuals, even though they are trustworthy, they are creditworthy. So these controls from 42001 were added into it to give you the explainability, the impact, and the bias checks. So this is how these two, security and the AI governance, goes together. A very quick review of the life cycle. That you have a stage one where you define what is your objective for the AI, what are the ethical and security boundaries you are trying to do it. And then stage two, the main area, the data, that you are selecting which type of data to be there, and you need to massage the data. You need to tabulate the data. You need to cleanse the data so that it is more usable by the AI tool. Then which model to be selected and how it is going to be trained. Once it is trained, you do the validation and testing. Very, very important. So you will keep three types of data. One is the training of the model, one for the validation of the model, and finally the unknown data to test the model so that the model was trained on one data and part of that data was used to validate, but now the testing will be a totally unknown data. The model will be exposed to see whether it works in all types with all types of data at all times. Then the deployment, we need to put a lot of controls in the deployment. And finally, the ongoing monitoring of because the model initially was very good, but later on, slowly, it starts giving a lot of bias. It is called algorithmic bias, which is coming with the passage of time. When you keep on querying, adding more data, it is learning. It is continuously learning, and it learns to be biased. And finally, at a time, there will be a time. You have seen ChatGPT 3.5 is no more available. Where it is, right? Similarly, the old models has to be decommissioned and they have to be going through a retirement process. The data once inside the model cannot be removed. And that's why globally there are laws in the EU AI Act or also in the US also. The word used is algorithmic disgorgement. That means you have to delete the model altogether with the complete evidences that all the copies of the model has been deleted because it is no more used and it is no more under the processor. So 27001 appears here, and you will see that this is all in all stages of 42001 or the AI development lifecycle. 27001 controls will be implemented. The final poll for you guys.
Faisal, can we expedite? Actually, it's been
This is the
50
final
minutes.
slide. I know
Yeah, okay.
are.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so what is the most likely next step after this session? Are you going to deploy and review your AI security policy? Because that is very important. Add AI risk into the ISMS risk register. Start 42001 gap assessment. Build integration of 42 and 27. Complete roadmap. And explore training, advisory, and certification support. And we will be there to help you out in any of your journey where you want. Let me share the results. Last 10 seconds, please. Okay. Great. Oh, wow. We got 36% are looking for certification, training, and advisory support. And my colleague Mattia and of course, ISACA is there to help you out, to direct you where you can get the support. And so hopefully this presentation also can help you out. Okay, so finally, I'll skip this just very quickly. This is the certification process. You applied for the certification. Then we can do the gap assessment if you require. Otherwise, the certification process starts from stage 1. We review the documentation. Once you complete the documentation properly, then we go for stage 2 audit, which is giving you the certification audit on site to verify what you have documented has been implemented. And once the certification is provided, that certification is valid for 3 years. During those 3 years, we do the surveillance audit. So thank you very much. Just to give you the idea that many organizations are in their journey. We can support you in any form. And we have a lot of trainings and certification services and testing services for AI tools. So you are most welcome to contact my colleague in SGS Indonesia, Mattia, and she is also there in this call. And also you can contact ISACA also if anywhere you need it, you need any support in this. Thank you very much, Harun. And sorry I jumped a little bit more time. And sorry, Bu Lily,
Sure.
for that. So please, over to you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
It was
thank you
pleasure to
very
be
much,
here.
Faisal. It was truly a fruitful discussions and sharing, and you have touched so many important things that might can be discussed later on. So, before we go there, let's give time to Mrs. Lily to present her presentation. Sharing, Bu Lily, please. The screen is yours. We expect like around 45 minutes max. Yeah, please, Bu Lily. The screen is yours.
Okay. Thank you, Pak. Good evening, everybody. Thank you. Okay, wait, yeah.
Yes, darling. Yeah, it's
Can you
showing
see
up.
that? Showing
Yeah.
up already. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, already.
Thank you, everybody. Good evening. My name is Lily Wongso. Currently, I lead the Enterprise IT Architecture, Data Management, and Service Quality Group at Bank Central Asia. In today's session, I would like to share not only our journey toward ISO IEC 42001, but also some of the practical lessons we learned along the way, particularly how existing disciplines such as information security, privacy, and data governance can provide an important foundation for AI governance. Hopefully, we can provide some useful insight and perspective for organizations that are currently starting or strengthening or scaling their own AI governance journey. Yeah, before I go into more detail about the journey itself, I want to tell that AI adoption in our bank has grown quite significantly. Today, we already have a lot of AI use cases across different business units in the organization, and the numbers continues to grow. We adopt AI actually not only because it's a new technology, but we adopt AI because we want to create a real business value, improving customer experience, increasing operational efficiency, effectiveness, accelerating innovation, improving employee productivity, and also strengthening areas such as fraud detection and regulatory compliance. This reflect the global trend as well, like you see on the right side. According to the Stanford AI Index, the AI adoption is accelerating worldwide, but the governance maturity is lagging behind the adoption. So the question now maybe for us, how do we adopt AI? To how do we scale AI responsibly? Actually, we need a structured framework that allows us to manage AI consistently, regulatory obligation, and responsibly and scale aligned with ethical principle, with the security requirement, regulatory obligation, sorry, and our organizational risk appetite. And interestingly, that we can see from the survey that ISO 42001 was cited by 36% of the respondents as one of the standards influencing responsible AI practices. So it has been like a standard for the standard that organization look for AI governance practice. Here we can see that actually as AI adoption grows, the risk landscape actually becomes more broader. Even Gartner view this as several categories for Gen AI use cases, Gen AI risk. First is the behavioral risk, such as like inaccuracy, biased output, outdated information, scope validation, availability, dan even question about liabilities for the misbehavior of the Gen AI model, whether they, in case that they behaves in unexpected way. The next area is transparency risk. For example, whether we can explain why a particular result was produced and whether users are clearly informed when AI is involved. So we need to disclose when we use AI. Security and data risks are also special important in industries, especially such as banking, because AI can create new possibilities for personal, sensitive, or confidential information to be leaked, even it's intentional or unintentionally shared or misused by employees, third party, or external service provider. So AI is a risk, is not an IT risk anymore. We can see it as enterprise risk. When AI goes wrong, we have seen that a lot of use cases that show when AI goes wrong, something happen, and this is why show that without the sufficiency test, controls, and oversight, it can be happen. The first sample is AI coding assistant incident involving the Rapid. Even at that time they already say that the agent could not do any changes during the code freeze, but actually the AI agent did it. And even something that more concerning was the AI then generated fabricated information, including fake users and misleading test results, instead of clearly surfacing the failure. And then the second is McDonald. Yeah. In this case, even they can the customer order the nugget, but eventually even the customer already asked to stop, they reach an order up to 260 nuggets. And the third sample I want to tell about the iTutor group recruiting case. In this case, the AI enablement recruitment system was they reject the applicant based on the age. So any applicants over 55 and women rejected by the AI system. This demonstrates that the another category of AI risk, bias and fairness. AI decision can not only technical problem in this case, but also legal, ethical, regulatory, and reputational consequences. So these cases show that uh, AI failure sometimes not only about the model itself, but sometimes caused by the weaknesses around the AI system, like inadequate data, insufficient testing, or lack of human oversight, or inadequate monitoring. And this brings us an important question like, as AI adoption continues to accelerate, are organization becoming major in managing this risk? I want to ask everybody here, see at this result from the McKinsey, the survey shows that actually the organization we see the significant increase, so have not implemented responsible AI policy, drop from 11 have not implemented from 24% to 11%. So they try to implement the responsible AI policy. And what is the benefit? We can see that some organization report like business operation improvement. So from 32 to 36% from 2024 to 2025. And also increase in customer trust and also business outcome. We can see that it's quite significant increase, 21 to 28%. Even the number of incident also decrease in number from 70% to 25%. And sometimes people say that governance will slow down the innovation, but actually in this survey we can see that 19% report that faster time to market compared to 14% in 2024. But also some companies still say that slower time to market and have they say that no significant impact, 20% of that saying about that. And then when we look into AI governance itself, why is it so important? Why is that so important for us? Because we see that the AI governance can address transparency, accountability, fairness, bias, data privacy, risk management. So from these three big companies, we see that even the terminology is quite not really the same, but the idea is the same. They are talking about risk management and they're talking about the fairness, accountability, everything we need to do like for the AI governance to make sure that AI governance can manage the risk, can uh, address any risk, any fairness and accountability, transparency issue. So the foundation that support ISO 42001, we see from this case, we see that in our journey, ISO 27001 will provide trustworthy security, like Faisal already explained a lot about that. And also 27701, which provide privacy governance. Like we know that every AI use cases will need a lot of data. The more data it has, it will create a better performance, a better result, a more accurate result. Okay, and then also the data governance. We cannot forget about the data governance because the data governance is the foundation. Data is like the fuel for AI. So data governance in this case will provide the trusted data. So these three practice I see that will support the ISO 42001 implementation. Let's start from the data governance. So in data governance, we see that everyone talk about AI, but how many realize that AI quality is actually determined by data quality? So from the data governance that we practice, we can see that data ownership, the practice about the data stewardship, data quality, master data management, metadata management, all of these are the data governance practice. All of this will be needed but to do the the certification towards the ISO 42001 is the foundation. If you look at the more detail about the AI system impact assessment later, all the data governance practice here will be part of the assessment in the AI system assessment. So from the IBM Insight, it talks also about the why data governance is so important and to the AI governance. So the first one is the foundation for AI model. The reason behind it is the foundation because high quality trustworthy data forms the bedrock upon which AI model are built. And the robust data governance will ensure that AI models are trained accurate, unbiased, and secure data sources. So transparency also is part of the key reasons from the IBM Insight. Talking about the explainability and data lineage, where we know about where the data comes from, how it flows in the organization, and who can access it, and who has the right to see or edit or do some changes to the data. So, and the risk management also about the data governance. Data governance will mitigate the risk associated with the data breach or misuse. And then we also the AI governance address risk linked to bias or AI opaque AI decision. So if we manage this risk, then we can manage all the concern about maybe like the model, the hallucination, the bias. Yeah. So risk management will part of the data governance and the AI governance. Compliance, the organization also they, should be practice the governance framework, whether it's you know that a lot of framework in the world that concerning about the data privacy from GDPR, from HIPAA or Indonesia PDP law, we know that AI, the field is still the data. So we need to care about how data privacy will be so important in this case. So data governance will ensure quality and reliability of the data. The AI governance will ensure accountability and responsible AI use. And for these two combination, we will create a trusted AI outcome with a better decision, greater trust, lower risk, and stronger compliance. So the benefit, if we really know and practice these two linkages, means enhanced decision making, stakeholder trust, operational efficiency, regulatory compliance, and risk management. So when we look from the data, AI-ready data concept from Gartner, they talk about how we can have a AI-ready data. Sometimes we want to implement AI, but we don't even have the data ready. That's why I really like this concept from Gartner, where they talk about AI-ready data. We should align the data with the use case requirement. So talking about the accessibility, the structure, the semantic, the quality, the accuracy, the lineage, and also maybe if we need some annotation to make it ready or to make it enough for the use case. And then we need to qualify the data to meet AI expected requirement. Means we need a consistency, we need to validate, we need to verify, we need a continuous testing, regression testing, and auditing, and inferencing and derivation. We need to take very concerned about this because sometimes the data from one model will be flow to other models. So there's a derivation in that case. So we need to concern, we need to make sure that the security control I mean, for all the policy we put in the model will be inherited to the subsequent model. So next about observability, also very important as well, the monitoring and detection system. So even if just now Faisal talk about 80 something percent of the project will fail, even this article talk about 90% II project will fail because of what? Because the data. AI project fail not from a lack of intelligence, but sometimes from the right data strategy in place. And we want to learn also next from the Gartner how to build a AI-ready data management practice so we can get the AI benefits. So they talk about the foundational structure. So we must build the foundational structure for the AI, like data warehouse, like houses, robust metadata management, and data observability capabilities. Actually, we practice all of this. We didn't look at this practice before, but when I tried to do the research on the Gartner website and I map it to our practice in the organization, actually we practice all of this. So we have the like advanced data practice, we have the labeling, we have the feature engineering, how manage the feature of the more AI machine learning model, and then operationalizing and scaling the AI, how we can operational with a multidisciplinary team. So we don't implement AI only IT team that involved, but we involve also about the other teams that need to be to together assess the risk or do some like assessment whether we have enough risk mitigation, risk control in place with the like the risk team, the compliance legal. So key success here, establish strong foundation, continuously assess readiness and evolve incrementally. And the very important thing is we should build a multidisciplinary team. So empower cross-functional team to take the ownership because the IT team cannot work together. So we need other teams together, including in the function of whether it's AI steward, data engineer, domain expert, or other function. And we need to standardize and formalize practice. Like the ISO 42001 can create the standard process. Now, that's why we need the standard to be able to implement the robust governance process. So the next is I want to talk about the ISO 271. We know that without the secure system, AI cannot be trusted at all. Yeah. So it's a very foundation for the AI governance because this standard will protect all the like what Faisal already talked, protect the AI model, we protect the data, the prompt, the API, the database, and all the AI infrastructure from cyber threats. Now, so in the ISO 20,001 itself, we have a lot of domain to be considered like asset, identity, encryption, network, and infrastructure security, SDLC, vulnerability management, incident management, supplier security, business continuity, logging, and monitoring. I believe, and we have experienced also all of these domain and control still needs in the AI 42,001 practice. Next, we look at the concept also from Gartner. This is the perspective about the AI trust, risk, and security management. I think this is very important because we see that this traditional security protection still should be in place, and AI infrastructure and stack protection on top of that. After that, we protect the data itself from the classification, from the access, and also how we protect. And on top of that, we can put the AI governance and AI runtime enforcement. This runtime very important because some control should be implemented at the runtime while AI is actually operating, like AI behavior policy of access rate, guardrail, and then everything that prevent harmful or unauthorized action. This one also, when we look at the AI tourism from the technology capability perspective, so we can see that based the foundation still the foundational security, the traditional cybersecurity practice, and also we need the AI infrastructure security, how we protect the database, and then we need to the practice of security testing and also how AI security platform help in this space, like AI usage control, how we can control the usage management of the token. Yeah, everybody will will consider how to manage the token usage management. Maybe I can tell like that. So also how to create the guardrail, RAG security, and everything. So I think the TRISM is very good framework to be considered. And the next is we should not yeah, we should not I mean, we should still consider about the personal information in this case. Yeah, yeah. Privacy is very important because every AI use case we have a lot of data. So yeah, all the process need to be ensure that the personal information is still processed with legal according. I mean, comply with the legal requirement ethically and transparently. In this case, we still need the concern management, purpose limitation, data minimization, and also we can see that from the AI impact assessment, the DPIA, data protection impact assessment, is part of the system AI system assessment. So I think privacy by design should be good also for every AI use case we wanna build. So, talking about privacy, of course, they have a lot of concern. Start from the lawfulness, fairness, and transparency. Because sometimes, because of a company want to like protect their trade secret or their intellectual property, make the AI seems like the black box. So the black box effects happen here. So a lot of case also happen in the European country that because of this maybe yeah, because they don't want to tell the trade secret, something they don't want to reveal their how the AI works, how the actually the outcome come to that decision about the maybe about the credit scoring or some things. Yeah, they finally the European regulator find the company, but they still protect their information, their secret. They say they call it their trade secret. So the next one is the integrity and confidentiality. Of course, the AI will raise the integrity and confidentiality because the AI has a lot of data, large training and testing data. So that's all the data will prone to inversion attack by reverse engineering or even membership inference attack. The next one will be data minimization and purpose limitation. So yeah, everybody say that the more data I get, the more accurate the model will be. That's why vast amount of data sometimes become the nature of the AI system difficult to define the purpose, because sometimes we build a system an AI model for a specific purpose, but on the long run we can change to other purpose. So there's a purpose change in this case, so we need to make sure that it will not violate the privacy regulation. So and then after all of this, ISO 42001 will add the missing one. So what is not being regulated, or it's not there in the ISO 22001 or even 27701 is AI policy. We need to build the AI ethics, AI risk management, life cycle governance, system impact assessment, human oversight, and explainability, transparency should be covered in this case. So when we combine all together as AI management system, we see that ISO for 27001, 22001 ISMS will give us the how we can protect the AI system, the models, the prompt, the API, everything about the baseline of the infrastructure itself, like the domain it's cover, identity, access, asset, secure development, and all the domain covered in ISO 27001. In ISO 27701, also about the privacy information management, it can enable also the personal data, and in the data governance side, it will ensure that high quality, accurate data will be provided with the well-governed process. So this will make the ISO 42001 can achieve all the benefit that we can build trust with customer and ensure regulatory compliance, enable responsible AI, and reduce risk, and then improve decision quality and business outcome. So when we move toward our journey, I want to share that why we started the journey. I have three reasons here. One is the business driver. Because of the rapid growth of the bank-wide AI initiative, that's why we need something. We need the governance process. We need the responsible AI adoption. And then as the AI scale, especially when we implement the agentic in the future, we know that we cannot trust the AI if we allow the AI to do something, to automate something, or to do to in the autonomous way or in the workflow. We need a governance process, a very well defined governance process. That's why this is the business driver, and the technology driver is we see that multimodal AI environment. We implement on-prem AI as well, the hybrid, the cloud AI also. So this is the technology driver, and the race, like I mentioned before, the agentic, the autonomous workflow, and then the growth of data, the models, and the tools will make the expanding of the use cases in the future. That's why we see that this the technology driver is one of the driver why we need AI governance, and also the risk dimension. we have to manage the privacy and data protection risk. AI misuse, the party risk, model drift, and lifecycle monitoring, potentially significant reputational compliance and financial consequences. So for us, this AI governance ISO 42001 was not simply about obtaining a certification, but the real objective was to build a trusted, scalable, and responsible AI ecosystem through a structured governance framework. And what about the regulatory alignment? In Indonesia, OJK already provide reference like guidelines for development of AI. Implementation guideline from the initiation, model, design, testing, implementation, oversight, maintenance, evaluation, and eventually the termination process. Also, there's a guidance from the OJK guidance, guidelines. So it's each phase in this life cycle, we see that require organizational governance, risk management, and compliance. So all the life cycles should be embedded with the governance process. So in our case, we also report periodically about the AI progress to our IT steering committee. And next, ISO, what's the purpose of the AI management system? Yeah, I think that from our perspective, it's help the organization achieve its business objective through a disciplined AI process while managing risk and continuously improve the way AI is governed. So the first is AI process approach. AI needs to be managed across its life cycle, like I mentioned before. And the next is about the risk management. We need to identify and assess which risk AI specific one, determine the appropriate control. Like Faisal mentioned about 38 control actually in the AIMS, we implemented 37 control out of 38. So the one that we don't implement only about AI users because the scope we choose is AI producer. We need to monitor those risks and understand the impact also on the individual, customer, organization, and other stakeholders. And of course, part of the ISO, there always be something continuous improvement, plan, do, check, act. So this is also the practice that we see is very good for us. Like the PDCA also become our DNA in the company, that we always do the continuous improvement. How this ISO align with the OJK standard? So before we implement this, we review against the OJK standard. So we see that it follows the PDCA cycle, same that as the OJK standard that require the PDCA cycle, the monitoring and continuous improvement. So both of the standard emphasize on the effective AI governance with oversight, accountability, and control. And both framework stress the governance should be embedded entire the AI life cycle from the design, development to deployment, monitoring, incident handling, and continuous improvement. And both of the standard emphasize on the structure of AI risk management, such as bias, model failure, privacy leakage, cybersecurity threat, and operational disruption. So both of the standard also enforce about the accountability and human oversight to ensure that AI decision can be responsible enough for the organization. So both also highlight the privacy and data governance to ensure compliance with data protection law, banking secrecy, customer consent, and supported by robust control for lawful, transparent, and secure data. These are the background. And how about the implementation? Overall, the preparation phase took about 5 months. So during this stage, we established the AI governance structure, define the scope, assess the current state, and develop the implementation plan. This was the very important phase because we need to understand not only the standard, but also how to adapt this to our organization, our use cases, and our governance environment. The second step is the internal audit. So we conduct the internal audit in December 2025 after the 5 months preparation. The objective to evaluate our readiness and ensure the alignment with the requirement from ISO 42001. This step also help us identify any remaining gaps before moving into the external certification process. So the last step, the external audit, is the last stage. Actually, we divided in two. Stage one in December 2025. At this stage, the external auditor review our AIMS implementation at the higher level, including some documentation, scope, and overall readiness. And during the stage two, we review the asset. We will assess in more detail to determine whether we met the certification requirement. So in summary, this journey not an overnight effort. Actually, it required a lot of foundation. Like I mentioned about the 27001, 27701, and also the data governance practice in place. So yeah, it requires a preparation, governance setup, internal validation, and independent external assessment. So what do we prepare? What do we put in place to operationalize our ISO 42001? So we need to establish an integrated governance system covering the leadership, policy, accountability, and oversight. So a lot of documents actually to be prepared during this ISO 42001 preparation and journey. And also we establish a framework like the AI policy, a code of ethics, link also this process and the framework with our business strategy, risk, and compliance requirement. We also define the clear roles, responsibility, authorities, oversight, and accountability structure. And the second major area I think should be very important is the AI risk and system impact assessment. We need to do the AI risk register. So in IT, we already has the IT risk register. Maybe in AI, we need a more specific AI risk register and AI risk control. Like what Faisal already mentioned, a lot of controls should be in place. We implement 37 controls out of 38. So in AI lifecycle also is very important where we define the grid test and validate ethics embedded in the AI lifecycle. Then we also implement the process and control in accordance with the standard and regulation. And also the very important one is the continuous audit and improvement, like the ongoing monitoring, internal audit, and management for ongoing governance. If we ask, will the governance stop us or is a barrier for the innovation? I think it doesn't. It can even make the innovation faster, safer, and easier to scale. Why? Because it will create a standardized governance, like a standardized impact assessment, standard policy, and create consistency. So one standard for all the use cases is very important. With the standard, the team will move faster. So the second one, we create the clear data policy and accelerate AI development integration. So with the data, we have the well-defined ownership of the data, the quality, the privacy policy, make us become clear in the policy. And then the defined model, the right model, right process, and reliable outcome. Because this standard make us make the AI lifecycle process embedded with the governance process. So from the build, test, validate, deploy until retire to ensure the quality, control, scalability, and continuous improvement. And the next is the guardrail and monitoring. The guardrail monitoring give the teams clear boundaries, which can make them innovate safely. Instead of we say, don't experiment, governance define where and how experimentation can happen responsibly. So, and finally, strong governance will build trust from regulator, management, and customer, of course, because they know that we build our AI with all the control, all the standard policy in place. So the result is says faster, safer, and more sustainable innovation. So the governance will turn uncertainty into clarity, risk into control, and ideas into real business value. And next, I think I will bring us to the more important part of the ISO 42001 is the AI system impact assessment. I think I will categorize in four categories. Yeah. A lot of things to be assessed, but I want to categorize into four categories. One is the AI system understanding. This first is what is the system and how does it works. This include about the system information, data information and quality, algorithms, and the model and the deployment environment. The second category is interested parties assessment. So who can affected by this AI system or who has interest in it. This include an internal and also external party. For example, user, customer, employees, management, regulators, partners, or other stakeholders. This is very important because AI is not only about the technology itself, but it may be affected by the decision or the outcomes produced by the AI. So, and the next is the benefit and the harm assessment. Uh, we look at both sides. What are the actual and the reasonably foreseeable benefit and the actual reasonably foreseeable harms. This is where we start assessing areas such as fairness, privacy, transparency, reliability, safety, explainability, and other impacts. And the fourth, the failures and misuse assignment. Here we can ask maybe what could go wrong with the AI. We look at the potential AI system failure and reasonably foreseeable misuse. So these four categories give us a practical structure is understand the system, understand who may be affected, assess the benefits and harms, and anticipate failure and misuse. This make the AI system impact assessment or ICA very comprehensive one, but also the one that can be applied, but should be applied consistently across different AI use cases. This Asia is the clearest example how ISO 42001 brings those foundational disciplines together into a practical AI governance process. So we start from the system understand data understanding that you can see a lot of things to be assessed like the description, the functionality and capability dependency to others and when we go into the data side a lot of things to assess also about who owns the data, who has access to the data, where the data set comes from, what is how the data is collected, what the intended purpose of the data is, whether there's a foreseeable risk of bias, whether the DPIA is the process of privacy management system, data quality characteristic also. This part very important because immediately can show that AI governance start with the clarity of the system purpose and the clarity of the data use. And the next
Bu
one is
Lily,
the AI
Bu Lily,
on the modeling. Okay.
Bu Lily, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I believe the screen was freezing because
Oh,
I still see the slide from OGK and some other audience also
oh,
reporting the
oh
same.
yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Can I just stop and share again?
yeah. Please reshare it. Thank you, Bu.
Yeah, sorry.
Thank you, teman-teman, for the feedback. So many things that you share, Bu. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, yeah,
Please continue, Gus. Thank you. Take your
yeah,
time, Bu.
yeah. Okay.
You see, those who have done the work now, they have a lot to show, to be honest.
Yes,
Excellent.
indeed, Faisal.
Really. And
Thank you. Please
really
continue, Bu
appreciate,
Lily.
really
Yeah,
appreciate.
we talk about the algorithms and the model information. So when we assess the model, we do not ask whether it's accurate only, but how the model was configured, what features were allowed to influence the decision, and why the particular model was selected. Yeah, you see that a lot of things to be reviewed in this case. Yeah. Yes, and when selecting the final model, we should not automatically choose the one with the highest accuracy actually. Yeah. We need to consider about the fairness, the explainability, the robustness, the stability, operational requirement, and the risk level of the use. So this help us to ensure that the model is not treated as the black box. Yeah, instead we require a disciplined understanding of how the model is built and how it is evaluated and whether it remains reliable in production, not only in development or during the testing. Yeah. And next is the deployment context and the stakeholder. The third area is the deployment context and the relevant interested parties. AI does not operate in isolation. It operates in real business and social environment actually. So in part of this Asia, we assess where the AI system will be deployed, legal and regulatory requirement also, and the cultural and language consideration, potential affected groups, at risk or marginalized groups, and the human characteristic that might be relevant in a particular geography or business context. We also identify the interested party, internal or external. This is very important because the same AI model may create different levels of impact dependent on where it is used, whom it is used, and who is affected by it. And the next one is benefit, harms, and foreseeable misuse. The fourth area, I think, in the assessment actually about the benefit, the harm, and as well as the failures and the foreseeable uh, misuse. Yeah, and here we have seen a lot of holistic impact assessment, and when we see this picture, yeah, actually AI governance, we can see that ultimately it has two sides. So it has a potential or positive impact, like it can drive business value and growth, strengthen operational excellence, better customer experience, risk detection, and faster decision. Yeah, but actually on the other side, it also introduces risks that we must manage carefully, like the unfair bias, legal reputational risk, hallucination, inaccuracy, regulatory compliance risk of fraud, defect, misinformation caused by AI, and then security breaches, misuse, and loss of privacy and trust. So AI governance is really about how we maximizing the upside while minimizing the downside. And to do that, we need several governance discipline working together. We need a clear AI policy and standards so everyone's have a understand the boundaries. We need the risk management so AI risk can be identified, assessed, mitigated, and monitored. We need the data governance and data quality because trusted AI depend on the trusted data. We need security and privacy control because we know that security and privacy control will protect the data system and the user privacy and all the protection needed for the personal data. We need the human oversight, of course, and the accountability because even when AI supports or automated decision happen, responsibility still belongs to the organization, belongs to the people who build the AI. We cannot leverage the liabilities to the AI system. We need the transparency and explainability also. So AI use and outcomes can be understood and challenged where necessary. We need the model governance, include the validation, testing, and lifecycle management and monitoring. And finally, we need the continuous improvement, of course. Yeah. So this brings us to the conclusion that AI governance allow us to pursue the upside of AI with confidence while keeping the downside with clear and acceptable boundaries. So what are the challenges in implementing AIMS? Actually, we experience some challenges during the implementation. We can group into three main areas from the people, process, and technology itself. And the first is the process. We need to develop and maintain the comprehensive documentation to fit the ISO requirement, a new set of documents again. Yeah, like the AI governance policies and procedure. And the first time, we don't have a formal center of excellence established for the AI project assessment, but now we have it already. But at the first of the project, we don't have it. So about the use case evaluation, the data readiness model, solution assessment, risk and compliance assessment, and the human in the loop validation monitoring improvement process, we do it ourselves. Yeah. So yeah, and then the next is the people. AI governance actually should be the cross-functional collaboration. It requires business. It requires the AI teams, of course, the data management teams, of course, but we also need the cybersecurity team, the privacy team, the risk compliance audit, and other relevant functions to work together. So one important focus here was to make a common understanding, a common way of working. We also try to make the governance practical by designing policies and procedures around the daily practices of the technical teams. So the control remain compliant without becoming unnecessarily burdensome for them. And the third challenge is the technology itself. The traditional IT control still important, but AI introduces additional requirement around model risk management, model performance, bias, drift, explainability, misuse, and AI-specific monitoring. So actually, we need the tools that can combine together maybe to monitor and AI governance tools. But what we have seen in the market, there are no tools such a, so perfect to do all the things that we need. That's why we still combine within, we do it ourselves with the programming, with the coding, and we still use the traditional security protection, of course. So the key integration point from the ISO 22000 domain, from the risk management, secure SDLC, asset logging, monitoring, supplier, incident management, access control, competence and awareness, and performance audit, we see that we need the AI extension for the ISO 42001 in the area of AI risk and impact assessment, AI lifecycle governance, model data sets, and AI observability. Of course, we need to monitor the model performance, the drift, bias, data quality, system behavior, AI provider governance also. AI incident management, of course, we need specific, maybe for the AI specific case, but for others like the system failure, we still can follow what we have in place, like for the operational incident management. Human oversight and control, of course, we need the human, define the human oversight, decision right and override and escalation when we need that. AI literacy and responsible use, we need to build the AI literacy, prompt engineering, awareness, and responsible AI use culture. And also we need the AI audit and evaluation, also how we can audit the AI system, the model, the life cycle, and the governance effectiveness. So highlight here is how we can extend existing risk to include AI risk and impact at the model lifecycle and ML of governance. Expand the asset inventory to include AI asset and data asset. Extend the monitoring AI metric and model health indicator. Include AI specific criteria in supplier assessment and contract. So extend the incident process also. Embed human at the helm. I want to say that we need the human at the helm, not only human in the loop. Yeah, into the operational control. Expand awareness from security to AI, ethics, risk, and usage. Integrate AI audit scope also. So in summary, we can see that ISO 22001 in information security, it support in secure AI infrastructure. ISO 27701, it governs the privacy. So support 42001 in responsible handling of personal data used by the AI. And data governance will create the trusted, high quality governed data for AI. Then ISO 42001 will govern the AI lifecycle, risk, ethics, human oversight, and continuous improvement. And the last but not least, I want to share also the lesson learned from our journey. So we need to start governance before AI scales. Governance is very more effective when we establish early, creating the trust, clarity, and foundation rather than we build it later after the use case, a lot of use cases already in place. So AI governance is also enterprise responsibility. So successful AI governance requires collaboration across business, risk, compliance, legal, IT, and internal audit. Strong data governance is the foundation of AI governance. High quality, well-governed AI-ready data is the foundation of the trustworthy, fair and reliable AI system. So we also need risk-based control on the control, tailoring the control based on the level of risk, allow us to focus on what matter most and enable innovation with appropriate safeguards. Human accountability remain essential. Governance enable and accelerate innovation. Like I already explained, responsible AI is a continuous journey, not a certification milestone. So I always tell my team, it's not we don't stop at the certification milestone. It's a continuous journey that we need to implement the governance in our daily activity, in our daily operation. So I want to close with that. Governance should not be the brake on AI innovation. It should build the confidence that allow us to accelerate the innovation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bu Lily. It's a very, very insightful sharing from you. Okay. Where should I start? I have so many questions in my head, actually. I believe most of the people here also have so many questions. But maybe let me start lightly. From Faisal. If we have ISO 27000 in place, but the scope is different than what we choose for the AIMS implementation. So how can we align those things?
I think I have. Can you hear me, Harun? Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's clear. Your voice is clear.
As I have given some examples also, you already have I would say, the foundation. You have the risk assessment already there, for example. So you can, of information security risk assessment, you can use the same methodology to do AI risk assessment, like what are the risks, but the risk will be different. As I said, model drift is a risk. It's not there anywhere in the security or business continuity. So it's a totally different type of risk. So the same risk methodology can be used. So you don't need to redefine the methodology. And similarly, I would say that 27001 is like a vault, or you have an alarm system in your organization which can activate if somebody is intruding in it. And 42001 is something which is a money, or the main critical thing which you are trying to protect by putting these vault doors and alarm system. So whether it should be clearly sitting on what you have already. So try to build a system on what you already have, as I think excellently Bu Lily have explained, that they went through the gap assessment, what are the requirements of 42001, and then compare it with the requirements you have met for 27001, and you can easily, you have seen my slides, they have clearly telling you that which clauses are clearly mapping. But a risk assessment, I remember the management review, the internal audit, the documentation, the training matters. So a lot of things can be combined together. I hope I have answered the question, because I have talked about this a lot in this. I don't
Yeah,
want to
but
go in more details. Already taken so much
yeah.
time.
Yeah, I know, I know. It's just that I just think that it's not that as simple as in your slides only view of controls that can be met, but actually it can be everything, right? Just like take the whole spirit of ISMS into the AI implementation. So when you say we need to put the security in place during the AI life cycle, that means everything, right?
Exactly.
It's just we
Exactly.
talk about the different object, but we should take everything. I
Exactly. You
see.
see, yeah, if you're talking about the major structure, 4 to 10
Mm-hmm.
clauses, he has already
Mm-hmm.
given you, and I've also given you the links. But there are
Yeah.
certain controls which cannot be integrated. They are different.
Yeah.
Like those will be separately defined, but a lot of
Yes.
things, you see, as she has shown you, the data which is being collected, which has been stored, it has to be
Mm.
highly protected and through
Mm.
27,000 controls. So this is something which you might have not done before because this data is going to be used in the model. Similarly, the different versions of the model has to be controlled, that which version is right now in operation, where the data is going into that particular model, and who
Yeah.
has access to it. So this is how it goes. And frankly speaking, recently I've done many organization audits. One is a very sophisticated organization which is doing the surveillance at the government sector,
Mm.
the overall CCTV cameras installed in different cities and everywhere. They are not only the surveillance, but the main thing is the ticketing system of the cars and
Mm.
the challans, you call it. And they are identifying it, and they already had 27,001. So they put on the 42,001 on it, and a lot of control they already have for security. So they implemented them for the model segregation, access
I
control.
see.
So this is how it will move. But frankly speaking, it's much easier to have 27,001 either to go together or you go one by one. So first
Mm.
thing is security to be there. Yeah, I know many organizations, they came to us, they already come to us. I had a meeting yesterday also. They wanted 42,001 first. They don't have any management system before, no 427, no 9001. So it will be a little bit difficult because even though AI management system, it doesn't talk a lot about security. It talks about
Mm.
other processes, but not much about security. So once you have 42,001 alone and you don't understand that even though you deploy it, you need to put a lot of controls related to security. And 27,001 is giving you a better shape to go for. This is my opinion as my experience.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you don't have anything, go together. But if you
Mm.
have 27, it's much easier.
I see. So I believe most of the people here are also in the process of getting those two, at least especially for those who works in financial sector mostly has been achieved 27,001. So and now they're aiming thanks to BCI and Bulili actually I believe BCI is inspiring the whole industries here. So yeah, Bulili, perhaps I would like to ask before I select question from the audience. How do you govern this AI on each business process? Yeah, do you have to go into the details on the governance control during the implementations? I believe you're still in mute.
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, actually, during the implementation, uh, how many use case may I know that you propose for the certification?
Oh, okay. Because we choose the scope, yeah. We can choose the scope as
Mm-hmm.
AI producer or AI user. And in this
Mm,
case, we choose the as a AI producer. So all the AI we build within the scope.
I see.
Mm.
So you mentioned from the 38 controls, actually it was 37 controls that are applicable in the SOA.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
one that left out is the users controls, right?
Users, yeah. As
Yeah,
a user, yeah.
I see. So from those 37s, all of the controls should be
Yeah.
governed
We
in instruction.
uh, yeah, we include all the AI use cases that we produce within this defined scope, yeah, for the
Mm-hmm.
producer. Yeah.
I see.
So with this, I think with the standard process for all the AI use case means the more consistent governance approach, yeah. So every AI
Uh-huh.
use case within the scope will follow the defined life cycle, the risk assessment, the
Mm.
ICA approval, monitoring, and control requirements.
Okay. Okay, Bu. Perhaps I'll try to get some question from the audience. Ni, Mas Dias, question for Faisal. How to measure a qualitative principle like fairness and non-discrimination in AI development? And number two, how organization manage shadow AI? This is a good one. And third-party AI when business rapidly adopt this approach to maintain a competitive edge. Please, Faisal.
Which one I take first? The shadow AI, I think more interesting.
Yeah.
You see, I have been through, I told you, the audits recently, and
Mm.
one of the organization, they were going for 4 standards together. ISO 22301 business continuity, ISO 27001 information security, ISO 27701 privacy information management, and then 42001 the AI management system. And I remember when we started auditing for 27001, the major question was how to stop the shadow IT. And
Mm.
5 years back, when AI was not proliferated like this, shadow IT was a big issue for the organization. One of the telecom company, they were having a huge data centers and they're putting all the critical applications there. But during the audit, we saw the customer services, they're using another tool which is just used for the survey and they're keeping it on their own and they are getting a lot of information. And recently we went there and they are using now with the same tool, they're using agentic AI, giving access to the customer database just to see what will be the prediction that somebody who is a what you call prepaid customer, he will not renew. And now for that purpose, they say we only give the access to this point. But what is the control that AI will not, when it gave that agent have access to the database, customer database, it will not go anywhere else. It can extract anything. Now, this is another very big example of a shadow AI because IT has no clue that they are using, and the management has no clue that they are using agentic automatically. They designed it and they do it. It's just like USB is being used, the personal Dropbox, you upload the documents onto the net. So the organization put a lot of DLPs and controls, but now there are DLP LLMs, like even if the people are using ChatGPT or Claude, so you can put certain technical controls that we cannot put confidential or organization specific data into the AI. Is the very old, very important control is the discovery to see who has installed certain applications. Some people are given administrative rights. Recently, a very sophisticated organization, they were amazed that 125 out of 660 users, they have administrative rights and they don't have a clue. They have no scanning done for the last 1 year. And they were using AI on the side of the saying the policy says that you cannot use ChatGPT and they have blocked it. So you need to have a proper risk assessment for this. You need to scan it regularly. And the main thing is to train the people, those who are using it, because you cannot stop them using it. You need to tell them that you can use it, how you can use it, how to frame the prompt, how to protect the access somebody else can take from your system and from your side and do it. Now, coming to the first question, I forgot if you I think I remember fairness,
Yeah, how to measure qualitative
something about
principles.
fairness,
Yeah, like fairness and discrimination. The qualitative measures
and yes,
and discrimination.
actually, there is one very important control. Some of you might be aware of confusion metrics, the false pair and the positive. So there are four quadrants. So normally you measure the false positive and negative rates before
Yeah.
and after then. And then similarly, you can check the what you call the demographic that when the system was trained, we call it disparate impact ratio. That if somebody, those individuals which are deprived, which can be what you call uh, uh, which can be discriminated in the in the society. Them like blacks, Asians, women. So these are the areas where you can identify whether they have been properly governed, they have been properly given their rights, so they can properly being what you call neutral. The system is neutral. It's not giving any discrimination. Another thing is sometimes is a technical testing of parity testing. It's called uh, before and after deployment. So these are different measures. I would say it's like measuring the customer satisfaction. You cannot put a scale complaint rates. You can see automatically you will get feedback from the people that the decision, for example, for me not given the loan, I need to know and when you go back to see the reason, you find that it was a pure wrong, what you call decision. And you have to have a proper, now this 1, 2, 3 complaints which are coming to you again and again, this gives you a very big historical data that you have to do something. You need to stop the model and review it and fine tune it again, or you might have to retrain it. This is something which you later on do it. But there are ways to do it. There is even there is a standard, by the way. You can note it down.
Yeah.
ISO 24028. This is the standard for biasness measurement. ISO 24029 is trustworthiness. So these are standards which talks about guideline. These are the guideline standards which talks about how you can see the biasness, how you can ensure the biasness is not there, how you can ensure the trustworthiness into the system. And there is a standard for AI risk management. There is a standard 42,005 for AI impact assessment, that how you can do the impact assessment. So there are guideline standards for all of these, the control which needs to be there.
Okay, clear. Thank you very much. Perhaps another question for Bu Lily. This is interesting, Bu, how basically I convince top management and related stakeholders in the first place. And just another one from Melville. What are the biggest challenges ensuring the successful of implementation? Monggo, Bu. But just to remind you, it's almost 10 p.m. It's actually 9:20. Maybe we can answer in short, Bu. I'm still in the office, by the way. Bu Lily, you still on mute?
Yeah, actually, we don't have any difficulty to get the management approval, because you know that like we are like the bank, so the more governance in place, maybe will be better for us to make sure that all the process in the bank is governed in a structured way, in a standard way. So yeah, it's quite easy to get the approval. So, what are the challenges? Yeah, what are the challenges for the successful
Yes.
implementation? Like I already mentioned about three things, like the people, process, and technology. Yeah. People need to make sure that we involve all the team. Yeah. Not
Yeah.
only the data, but with multidiscipline team. So, and also to build the culture of how every team, from starting from the day we certified, we need to change our mind that every time they build the AI use case, they need to do like the system impact assessment. Actually, it's a very long list of questions, but yeah, anyway, they still need to do that. Yeah, and in the technology itself, like I think it's a quite challenge for us to to find tools that are already in place with all the requirement for the AI governance, but because we cannot find in the market, so we still sometimes we build some of the tools we build, some of the tools we still do it on for the with the existing security protection tools, some governance process, like we build our own portal to put all the document procedure in one centralized portal, something like that. So I think like that, yeah. In the process, of course, we need to build a lot of policy document and yeah, make sure that we comply with the requirement from the ISO. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Bu Lili. So I believe it will be much more easier when you got fully supported by top management, yeah, Bu, yeah. And also you also mentioned that actually the basic security measure is as a foundational.
Yeah.
It's very important, yeah, before we step into the AI world. So thank you very much, Bu Lili. Thank you very much, Pak Faisal. It's been too late actually. And for all the audience here, actually, we will adjust the CPE because I think we are way late by the schedule. So can we as we conclude for tonight's session, actually the message is quite clear, yeah. Building trusted and secure AI, it requires a strong foundation, especially in ISMS. Yeah, and then we can extend that discipline into the AIMS implementation. So together they will form powerful framework, yeah, that enables organization to innovate responsibly. So thank you very much once again to our speakers and to all participants for joining us. So let's continue to build digital ecosystem where trust and security are at the heart of AI adoption. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Harun. Thank you. Thank you,
You're very welcome. Thank you,
everyone.
Bapak
Thank
Ibu
you.
semua.
Thanks a lot.
Ibu.
Thank you. I will give it back to Rifko. Thank you, Bu Riko, Bu Elda.
Okay, thank you very much, Pak Harun, for leading such an insightful discussion. Bapak Ibu, before we close, we would like to inform you that due to the delay, today's session will be adjusted to 3 CPE in total. And thank you so much, Pak Faisal and Ibu Lili Wongso, for sharing your knowledge. Now, for a quick documentation, we kindly ask everyone to turn on your camera, if possible.
Yuk, foto-foto dulu. Let's make documentation.
So we will take a group photo documentation in kita akan mulai dokumentasi dalam 1, 2, 3. Oke, terima kasih banyak Bapak Ibu. Untuk CPI akan kita update ketiga CPI ya Bapak Ibu. Terima kasih banyak atas waktunya dan sampai jumpa lagi di next program ISACA. Terima kasih Bapak Ibu.
Thank you semua. Faisal, thank you very much.
Thank you very
Bu Lili.
much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you so much, Faisal.